Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today is a fun one because we are going to be talking about the makeup that I would go out and purchase if for some reason I lost all of my makeup, like in a hurricane or something, like I was in a move, all of my makeup disappeared, it was all completely lost, gone, zilch, nothing. I have nothing, I'm starting from zero. What would I buy first? And this is going to be drastically different because I recently filmed a video, okay, talking about my full face of makeup, like what the cost of my full face of makeup is. And spoiler alert, it's over $600. Let me just tell you, if I lost all my makeup, I'm not dropping $600 on it, okay? So if you want to know what I would purchase if I had nothing, if I had to start from ground zero, this is the video for you. Let's go ahead and jump in. Before we start, this video is super exciting because it is a collaboration with my beautiful friend Linda from Glitter Fallout. Linda and I actually had the opportunity to meet in person when we went to Charleston last year in May for the Creators and Friends Retreat. I was super excited to meet her because we do have mutual friends, and our mutual friends were at least talking to me about her, saying you will love Linda so much. So I was really looking forward to meeting her in Charleston, and we just clicked instantly. I feel like we have a lot of the same feelings and viewpoints about a lot of stuff related to social media in general. We are both working full-time outside of content creation, but we create videos for fun, and I just love her. I feel like she's like the ultimate hype woman, right? Like if I'm feeling down, if I'm having a bad day, I can go to her. She pumps me up. Her energy is great. I just love her so much. So I'm gonna have her channel and her video listed down below. I reached out to her because I wanted to collab with her. I just love her. I love Linda. I feel like you will love her too. If you love high energy, if you wanna feel good, if you wanna come to YouTube and just no matter what we're talking about, be excited, Linda is your girl because she genuinely gets excited about makeup. And I love that. So definitely check Linda out. If you're coming from Linda's channel, hello, welcome. My name is Kelly, and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. I am actually an elementary school teacher by trade, but I'm makeup obsessed. So that is what I am doing here on the YouTube. If you love makeup, if you love chatting about makeup, I would love to have you subscribe and join us. I mean, this is what we do here. We just talk about makeup. Hypotheticals though, because let's hope that none of us has to start over. I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you probably have a makeup collection of some sort, whether you feel like it's small or large, and none of us wants to lose our makeup. But in this hypothetical world, that is what we are talking about. Without further ado, hello, welcome, I've been chatting, let's talk about makeup. Okay, so I think this video is a fun one because in recently filming the video where I calculated the cost of my go-to face, I was like, this is insane. Okay, this is insane. Granted, I have collected makeup over decades at this point. I would not go out and necessarily purchase my go-to staples. There are some staples that I know I need to have in my collection, but there are other things that I'd probably evaluate and try and purchase something different. So one thing that I would be skipping altogether is primer. I do prime my face every single day. Glow Recipe, Niacinamide Dewdrops, Tatcha Silk Canvas. That is my go-to. I do prime my face every single day. But in the event that I lost all my makeup, this is a one-stop shop. I'm going to Ulta, I'm going to Sephora. I would probably visit both of those stores. If I can't get everything at Ulta, Ulta would be my first stop. But I'm trying to get everything all in one day, right? So I'm not ordering online, I'm going in store, I'm getting my makeup. Primer's just gonna be something I'm gonna skip. I have my skincare routine. I do have dry skin. I'm gonna try and hydrate throughout my skincare routine, but we're gonna skip primer. It's what we're gonna have to do, right? Jumping into foundation. Most of my makeup in general is not drugstore, okay? Most of it in general is high end. But if I'm having to purchase my makeup all in one stop, I'm gonna want my foundation to be a little bit more on the affordable end. So I have two options of what I thought I might purchase if I was in Ulta. So one is a foundation that I do have. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I have the shade Light 45W. So I do have this foundation in my collection. I like it well enough to have kept it around throughout declutters, but it feels a little bit heavy for me, which is why I don't reach for it like on a day-to-day basis, just because it is a little bit more full coverage than my like everyday go-to, right? So this is an option of something that I could go in store and purchase again and would be likely to purchase again. This foundation is going to run me $16, but I was also thinking there is a foundation that I've been wanting to try from L'Oreal, and it's the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation. I've heard a ton of people raving about it. This foundation is $16.99 and I can get it at Ulta. So in going in store, those would be one of the two foundations that I would reach for, because I already know the ColourPop works well for me, but it provides a little bit more coverage, but I am interested in trying the L'Oreal. So I'm not 100% sure which way that I would go, but I would definitely purchase probably a drugstore foundation to start out, just because I know like I'm gonna have to drop some cash and get some makeup. Typically, I do prefer more of like a light to medium coverage, which is what would maybe be holding me back from getting the ColourPop Pretty Fresh, because it typically has a little bit more coverage than I expect. It is known for being like a hydrating foundation, but I don't feel it's like quite as hydrating as some of my higher end foundations, which is why I'm like, well, maybe I would go for the L'Oreal just because it's different. But also just because it's different, I don't necessarily know how it's gonna work for me. So I'm gonna throw both of those options out there. I would skip primer, but I would go in with one of those foundations. For concealer, I would purchase a concealer that I have in my collection. It's this one right here, the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. I have the shade 115 Light Nude, but I feel like I would maybe like go a little, like one shade deeper, just because I feel like this one is a tad light for me. In a pinch, it works. I'm using two concealers at the moment just because one's a little dark, one's a little light. But I do like this concealer because it's hydrating, but it does give me the coverage that I need. I am wearing it today. It gives me the coverage that I need. It covers my dark circles, but it's not going to like look dry and cakey underneath my eyes. I do have dry under eyes. All of the skin on my body is dry, but I do have dry under eyes, and sometimes I can deal with like flaking and stuff like that. So I don't like that. I'm not into that. So I like this concealer for that. I mean, like I said, I don't have a ton of drugstore in my collection. I have this, and I don't know if you can tell, but like it's loved, it's used, it's almost gone. So I would definitely go in and purchase that again. Where I would not go drugstore is with my eyebrows, okay? If you've watched any of my Get Ready With Me's, I have to create a brow. These brows, they don't exist, okay? My hair is naturally red, it's very light. These brows are non-existent. So I have to create a brow. I honestly, in brow products, I've tried drugstore brow products before. I know there are some good ones, but I can't find a shade that works for me. Like I've tried the NYX one, I think I've tried Milani. The shades that are geared for redheads typically tend to be a little bit too orange for my taste. So I would go high end here, but I would purchase right now, currently in my collection, I have the Patrick Ta. This is the Major Brow Defining Pencil in Blonde, and I have my Anastasia Brow Definer, which is a little bit thicker in caramel, but I'm using these two products. I would just purchase one, honestly, and I would go with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz because that one is thin, but I can, you know, like create a feathery looking brow. I can fill it in. The shade Caramel is my perfect shade. The Brow Wiz, oh, I didn't say, the Milani is going to be $10.99. The Brow Wiz is going to be $25. So, you know, this is more of like a high-end price point, but I would spend the $25. I would get the Brow Wiz in Caramel because I know that's the shade that works for me. But that way I can, like, I start by defining my brows underneath, and then I could fill it in with the Brow Wiz. Typically the brow definer is quicker just because it's thicker, but it's the same product, I feel like, just a different shape. So I would go with the Brow Wiz. I would use that to create my brow, and typically right now I'm going in with my ABH Clear Brow Gel, but I don't need something that's that expensive when I'm like trying to purchase my makeup all at once. So I have not tried the NYX Brow Gel, but it's only $7. So I would get the NYX Brow Gel because I feel like that's gonna work in a pinch. It'll set my brows. Is it going to necessarily glue them down like my ABH Clear Brow Gel? I don't know because I've never tried the NYX, but if I have to kind of like skimp on something, that's obviously what I'm going to skimp on is a brow gel because it's just a clear gel that's setting my brows down. So we would go with the NYX there. I'm also not talking about these products necessarily in any specific order. I'm literally reading them off of a paper. And so I kind of wrote it down in the order that I do my makeup, and I'm like, oh cool, we talked about foundation, we talked about concealer, we talked about brows, we didn't talk about powder. I don't powder my whole face. I just powder underneath my eyes. I want to keep my concealer set down. I do have fine lines underneath my eyes, and I like to set the forehead wrinkles in my face because I don't want it to like eat my foundation. I have not personally tried the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder, but I've heard really good things about it. So they have like a fair to light shade, they have a light shade. I'm not sure exactly which shade I would be because I have not tried it out, but I do know that I prefer a loose powder. I just want to set underneath my eyes and my forehead lines. I want to make sure that nothing is going to be like, you know, moving around my face. My wrinkles aren't going to eat my makeup. Like, I need it to be set down. So the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder is $9.99. Again, I don't powder my whole face, so I don't necessarily feel like it needs to be the best of the best. But again, I want it to be good. Like, I want to purchase makeup that I would use, and I feel like the Maybelline, although I typically go in with a high-end powder right now, I feel like the Maybelline would do what I need it to do. So now, this is where we get a little back and forth action, right? So thinking about the rest of my face, I want a bronzer, I want a blush, I want a highlighter. If there was something at the time where I could get all of them in a face palette, I probably would do that. I was kind of looking at Ulta and Sephora and trying to see what kind of face palettes they had out now. I typically find that I reach for my singles over my face palettes, but in a pinch, if I had to go out and purchase all of my makeup, I feel like a face palette is going to be a more affordable option. What I did find that would be realistic for me to purchase is first the Natasha Denona Mini Bronze and Glow. It's a mini, it's smaller, but it has a bronzer and a highlighter. It's $20. I feel like Samantha March has talked about this product and raved about it. I haven't tried the bronzer mini from Natasha Denona, but I do know the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter is my absolute favorite. I love her highlighter formula, and the bronzer looks like it would be a good shade match for me. So I feel like getting that little compact, $20, I could get some use out of that. And going in with blush, while I like a variety of blushes, I no longer have this blush in my collection, but I used to own it. It's the Essence blush in the shade Befitting. It's $3.99. I would purchase that again. I did declutter it out of my collection because I felt like it was similar to the Buxom Seychelles, which I currently have in my collection and I love, and I just wasn't reaching for it over my high-end blushes, but it was a good blush. It was a beautiful mauve shade. It had great pigment. I just really liked the way that it made my skin look, so I think it's a good quality product, and that I would purchase again if I needed to repurchase all of my makeup. Going in with eyeshadow or eyes. Again, I would skip the primer. I think my husband's vacuuming. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I would skip the primer. I would use my concealer on my eyes to prime. And then this is where it's like, I mean, it would just depend on the day with eyeshadow, right? But again, I want something affordable, but if I'm only purchasing one at a time, I'm gonna want something that I can create a variety of looks with. So I think I would get a ColourPop eyeshadow palette. I love ColourPop. I have several of their palettes. I think the quality is great, but you really are getting good bang for your buck. And so I wanted to look at the palettes that are on the Ulta website that I feel like I would be able to see if I went in store, because like right off the top of my head, I was thinking about their Bare Necessities palette that I have, but I think that's online only. I was thinking of like maybe they're going coconuts because I'm a neutral lover, so I would want a neutral eyeshadow palette, but I didn't see that one on the Ulta website. What I did see though was the Stone Cold Fox palette, and that palette is $35. And while it is expensive, it's a mega palette. So you have a ton of shades. They are more of a cool toned vibe, which I feel like is on trend right now. I do like warm tones and cool tones, but I feel like with that eyeshadow palette, I could create a variety of looks. I could do something quick and easy for every day. I could go deep and smoky if I was going out on a date night. So I felt like that palette would be a good palette for me. And because it's available in store, that's the one that I'm putting in this hypothetical video, okay? I do not think that I would purchase liner. Like, I'm not wearing liner today. I don't typically wear eyeliner every single day, so I would skip on liner. For mascara, I would go back to an Old Faithful. Maybelline has been the it mascara for me. I've dabbled in high-end mascaras the last several years, but Maybelline, she's my it girl, okay? We've been rocking with each other since high school. Maybelline, the Rocket Mascara, my all-time favorite for several years. I would get the shade Blackest Black. I know that it's good. I know that it's gonna create volume for my lashes, and I know that I'm going to like the look of my lashes being a little bit more full and long, and it's $9.99. So that's what I would go for. I love Maybelline. Their mascaras are my jam. What am I missing here? Lips. For lip products, again, I think I'm gonna have to go with ColourPop. I personally love the shade Oh Snap. I have the lippy pencil in Oh Snap, and I have the lippy sticks in Oh Snap. It's a beautiful mauve shade. I would recommend like any of their shades, like whatever shade you like, you should go and purchase. Also, you can sharpen these. It is plastic. You can see mine looks a little wonky because I did sharpen it recently, but I like the formula. This is a matte formula. For some reason, I felt like the lippy sticks was gonna be a satin, and it's not. It is a matte formula, but it's creamy on the lips. It doesn't settle into the fine lines that I have, but I feel like because it's a matte formula, it stays a little bit longer than maybe like the glossy Natasha Denona lipstick that I'm wearing right now. I do have the Berry Pop collection on. But I love this for like an everyday. Like, this is a Kelly type of shade. You have matching lip liner, matching lipstick. The lip liner, the lippy pencil is gonna run you $7. The lippy stick is going to run you $8. So it's affordable. And if you wanna splurge and get like a couple colors, you can do that. So this would be what I would recommend, or what I would purchase if I was like going in store to get all of my makeup. And then last but not least, to spray my face, I would have to go with my MAC Fix Plus, y'all. I have been using MAC Fix Plus for so long. Like, it is my ride or die. It is my go-to. I've gone through so many of them. I spray my face before makeup. I spray my face after makeup. I spray my eyeshadows. I spray my sponge. I spray everything with Fix Plus. It's $33, so it is on the higher end side, but I would be willing to splurge for it because the drugstore options that I've tried just haven't won me over like the Fix Plus. Again, keep in mind, I have dry skin, so is MAC Fix Plus gonna like lock your makeup in? I don't necessarily know that it's gonna do that, but as someone with dry skin, putting makeup on, putting powders on, I'm going to need something that is a little bit hydrating. So for me, it's gonna be the MAC Fix Plus. I'm gonna spend the $33. So looking at everything I got, if I were to walk into Ulta, purchase all of these things, I believe everything is found at Ulta. That would be my goal. But if I had to go into Sephora for my ABH Brow Wiz or the Natasha Denona Mini Bronze, like, I would do that, okay? But I think all of these can be found at Ulta. Walking in, filling them in my cart, going to check out before taxes, it's $186. That's still a lot of money, y'all. $186, it's a lot, but if you think about my video where I talked about my full face of like my everyday go-to makeup, that was way more expensive, $186. I feel like I would be willing to spend that. If I had nothing, if I had to start over, going in, purchasing this, again, keep in mind this is without tools. Tools are gonna add another cost. If I was at Ulta and I was picking up tools, I would be going with like e.l.f. I like their tools, and also I would be trying to get some kind of Real Techniques set. Of course, that would put me over the $200 mark, but I'm focusing just on makeup. $186, I can get everything at Ulta, I can get it in person, and then I would have like my base, my starting point. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Okay, so that's it, y'all. Like, those are the products. Let's listen. A hurricane better not come take my makeup, okay? Because I just love the makeup that I have. I love makeup in general. I love the makeup that I have. But in this hypothetical world where all of my makeup vanished, washed away with a hurricane, whatever, this is what I would purchase. Y'all, this is what I would get. Not necessarily my favorites, but products that I know I like, I can trust, or products that I want to try out, products that I would be interested in. And that would be like my baseline, $186, starting from scratch, and then we could build as we go. So I would love to know in the comments down below your thoughts. Like, if your collection was gone, vanished, boom, like what are some products that you know you're gonna need back in your collection? What are you gonna purchase? Where are you shopping? Are you going to Ulta? Are you going to Target? Are you going to Walmart? Are you going to Sephora? I would love to know. If you came over from Linda's channel, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to have you back. Like, feel free to subscribe, hang out, talk about makeup some more. Thank you to my beautiful friend Linda. Thank you so much for collaborating with me. I just love you. I wish that I was gonna see you soon. We're gonna have to plan something because you are so far away. Need to be together again. I miss you so much. So thank you for collaborating with me. If you are not already following Linda, go follow her. You need to go follow her. You will love her. She is just a bundle of fun, a burst of energy. She is just the sunshine on a cloudy day. You need her in your life. I love her. I love her so much. So go follow her. Tell her I sent you. Send her a purple heart because purple is my favorite color. Send her a purple heart to know you came from me, and go subscribe to her channel and show her some love. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.